It is actually official now, there will be a new Darkon class coming out, and it's going to be called the Arcana Invoker class. They have released the design notes about its skills and more, so we're going to check that out to see what it's going to be like. Darkon himself posted some art of what the class could look like and more. As for the class skill icons, the only thing we have is this posted by Darkon, just some red icons, and the auto attack ability. So let's check out the design notes to see what the skills could be like. So to obtain the class, you'll have to be at least level 80, and it can be unlocked by obtaining 22 different Arcana related items and their respective quests. So this means even before it's out, you guys should probably be farming any of the Darkon related items, as they'll probably be important for this class. There are two ways to obtain these items. Create each one in a merge shop, merge Darkon and King Drago insignias for Arcana's debris. So you should really start farming Ultra Darkon and Ultra King Drago ASAP. Each Arcana's debris will cost either one Darkon or King Drago insignia. Arcana Invoker is an endgame 2-target farming and solo DPS class that revolves around summoning 22 aspects of the Arcana, starting with the Fool and ending with the World. If you haven't played through the story already, these are references to some of the in-story characters. Unlike other classes, Arcana Invoker is acquired at rank 5, so you'll have access to all of its skills immediately. So that is really weird. You cannot get this class at rank 1, it'll be at rank 5 automatically. I think this is the only class in AQW that has ever been released immediately at rank 5. So let's check out the skill breakdown. Auto attack, 2 targets, 60% physical and infinite range. It deals physical damage based on spell power, and it hits 2 targets. So pretty normal farming auto attack. Skill 2 is the beginning and the end. It's single target attack with 222% magical damage, infinite range and no mana cost, and a 5-second cooldown. Begin the cycle anew, increasing your damage resistance by 80% for 45 seconds. If Judgment is active, summon the world for 22 seconds, changing effects of other skills. If the world is active, deal damage based on stacks of End of the World. Using this skill while Judgment isn't active will reset the cycle, and it can't miss. So it seems this can split between either doing a lot of damage or doing a lot of damage resistance. 80% damage resistance for 45 seconds is actually huge, considering only 5-second cooldown. And skill 3 is Arcana Invocation. Max target 1, 100% hybrid damage and infinite range. Mana cost -15, that is probably the only skill in the whole game with a negative mana cost. 3-second cooldown. If the Fool is present, summon Arcana. Arcana is summoned in a set order, each one granting you a new effect and the effects of all previously summoned Arcana. Each time an Arcana is summoned, your damage resistance is reduced by 4%. If the World is active, instead deals increased damage and applies 2 stacks of End of the World. Stacks to 22, recovers 15 mana on hit and can't miss. So it seems these two classes help balance between whether you're going offensive or defensive and managing your stacks, which seems kind of complex right now, but maybe makes more sense towards the end. Arcana Revocation, rank needed 3, max targets 2, 80% magical and infinite range, mana cost 40 and 3-second cooldown. Okay, so the negative mana cost for the last skill makes more sense because this costs a lot of mana, and if you want to spam it every 3 seconds, you will need some more mana. Channel a magic attack through your Arcana, applying a reversed effect to your target based on currently summoned Arcana. All effects last 15 seconds unless otherwise specified. If the World is active, apply the World reversed for 5 seconds, applying all reversed stat debuffs at half potency. Okay, so this can apply a really big debuff to the target, depending on which Arcana we have active, which we can check out in a second. This is actually the only skill that the class requires mana for. I know it says we might want to conserve our mana, but it doesn't seem like this class will be having any mana issues at all. And this is the final skill, 2 targets, 100% magical, infinite range, 9-second cooldown. The Fool's power surges, deals more damage the longer the Fool has been summoned. If the World is active, instead applies Erasure, a massive DOT for 5 seconds. So this is kind of like the Shaman class nuke, where it gets stronger over time. And now we can finally look at the passive skill, the Arcana. Applies the following effects when using Arcana Invocation. Magician, 22% Intelligence, High Priestess, 22% Wisdom, Empress, HOT, Emperor, 22% aggroing damage, 22% heal power, 22% endurance, haste, physical magic damage, dodge, luck, strength, dex, crit damage, enhanced HOT, crit chance, physical magic resistance, MOT, I think that means mana over time, minus 22% mana cost, 22% hit chance, and Judgment awakens the world. Okay, that is a ton of buffs, like really an insane amount of buffs. Pretty much buffing every stat possible, even mana over time, which I've never heard of. And this is why I said I do not think this class will have mana issues at all. But we also have the Arcana reversed, which just puts a negative symbol on every single buff we just saw. So if this is the biggest buff in the game, this is like the biggest nerf in the game. And finally, the rank 10, haste, hit chance, and crit chance increased by 22%. Once again, this is massive. More hit chance, crit chance, and haste, all huge. And if you want to wear haste, decreases cooldowns. So the conclusion is, like Darkon, your goal as an Arcana Invoker is to complete the cycle by summoning the world. To assist you in this, there are 20 other Arcana, starting with the Fool, which grants you a massive defense buff, and the next 19 Arcana, which grant you a new buff when summoned, but weaken the power of the Fool's defense buff. Okay, so it seems kind of complex now. I'm sure when it comes out, the farming rotation will probably be something like spam 2 and 3 the whole time. So hopefully it'll be easy peasy. And one last important note, when AQW Infinity releases, every class will need to be reworked. That's a hefty project. With that said, hint hint, I'm not saying Infinity won't get brand new classes in between the re-release of existing ones, or am I? Yeah, it's statements like these that just make me think there is no hope for AQ2D anytime in the near future, or even the medium distance away future. If they release it this decade, that would be an accomplishment, because apparently they will rework every single class, and I know that is going to take them a minute. Will it be OP, will it be broken, or will it be just one tier below that?